know that scene in Frankenstein where lightning strikes and the monster comes to life? Well, paleontologists kind of do that too, except there's usually no lightning involved and nothing's really coming to life. And our monsters were actually real living animals. When we find dinosaur bones, we don't always find a whole skeleton. Sometimes there's a leg here, some ribs over here, maybe some vertebrae over there. Sometimes, if we're lucky, maybe a skull. So, just like Dr. Frankenstein, we have to stitch things together. Today, we're talking about fossil Frankensteins, how paleontologists built dinosaurs from spare parts, and how that has helped shape science as we know it today. Back in the 1800s, during the Bone Wars, scientists were racing to name as many new dinosaur species as they could. Sometimes accuracy took a backseat to bragging rights. One of the most famous cases was Brontosaurus. When the first Brontosaurus skeleton was mounted, it was missing its skull, so paleontologists had to borrow one from a different dinosaur, Camarasaurus. For decades, museum visitors stared up at an animal that technically never existed, one of the first fossil Frankensteins. And it wasn't the only one. The first iguanodon reconstruction depicted it with a horn on its nose, because no one realized yet that it was actually a thumb claw. Elasmosaurus initially had its head put on the wrong end of its neck, literally backwards. These first reconstructions were pretty wild, but they did accomplish one thing. They sparked curiosity. Even if they were wrong, they still got people excited about ancient life. As we found more fossils and developed new technology, like CT scanning and 3D modeling, we've been able to correct some of those early mistakes. But here's the thing. Even some of our modern dinosaur mounts are still a little Frankensteinish. Most skeletons that you see on display in museums are not from an individual animal. In fact, it's very, very rare that we find a complete dinosaur. To remedy this, paleontologists will often combine elements from several individuals from either the same or similar species, or make casts to fill in the gaps so that we can show what the animal looked like in life. For example, take Dippy of the Carnegie Museum. It's a composite of several individuals with even a few Camarasaurus bones mixed in. Or the Tyrannosaurus Rex mount at the American Museum of Natural History, a mix of two separate T-Rex specimens. The composite displays you're seeing aren't fakes. They're mosaics of scientific inference and real fossils. You can think of it kind of like paleontological surgery. If one or more bones are missing, scientists might scan another specimen in order to replicate it. When you're looking at a full mount in a museum, you're actually looking at hundreds of hours worth of research and reconstruction. Sometimes the bones are real, and sometimes they're casts, but they all come together to tell the real story of prehistoric life. So yeah, paleontologists are a little bit like Dr. Frankenstein. We reassemble bits and pieces, we bring the ancient past back into the light, and every skeleton we rebuild is another step forward in science. But unlike Dr. Frankenstein's monster, our monsters aren't really monsters at all. They were living, breathing animals. They inspire us in many ways, and they're reminders that science is never static, and that even from a bunch of scattered bones, we can recreate a lost world. Thanks for watching, and happy Halloween from Elevation Science.